Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into how to teach math to a 5-year-old. And let's be real, we're not talking about stressful worksheets. We're going to break down a really fun, hands-on method that builds a genuine, lasting love for numbers and actually makes learning an adventure.
So here's the big question, right? How do you teach math to a kid who learns by doing, not by sitting still with a worksheet? For so many 5-year-olds, the numbers and symbols on a page are like a totally foreign language. Their whole world is about touching, building, and moving stuff around. Our job is to connect math to their world.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk about why math is so much more than a worksheet. Then, I'll share the secret recipe, a little something called CPA. After that, we'll get practical on building a math mind, find the math classroom that's already in your house, and finally, we'll cover exactly why this whole method is such a game changer.
Let's start right here. You got to remember, for a little kid, math is basically a foreign language. It's completely abstract. Without something real to connect them to, numbers are just squiggles on a page. And that's exactly why just memorizing stuff from a worksheet almost never sticks. There's no meaning behind it.
I mean, just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got worksheets, abstract symbols, rote memorization. It can get frustrating fast. But on the other, you've got hands-on play. That's where the magic happens. Kids are active. They build a real understanding when they can actually interact with things. Our goal isn't just to get them to memorize answers, it's to help them build a deep, lasting connection to how numbers actually work.
So what's the secret sauce here? How do we make this happen? Well, it's this amazing framework called the Concrete Pictorial Abstract Approach. We just call it CPA for short. It was developed by the psychologist Jerome Bruner. And trust me, it's the key that unlocks a true understanding of math. CPA is basically a 3-step journey, and it's super simple. Think of it like building a house, right? You got to pour a solid foundation before you can put up the walls and the roof. Each one of these stages builds directly on the last one, making sure the ideas really truly stick.
All right, first up is the concrete stage. This is literally the doing stage. A child gets to hold math in their hands. They're not just looking at numbers, they're feeling them. When they're counting out apples or stacking blocks, they're building a kind of muscle memory for numbers. They get a real feel for what the number 5 actually is.
Okay, once they've got that hands-on feel, we move to the pictorial stage. This is such a crucial step. It's the seeing stage, the bridge between the physical stuff and the symbols. Now they can draw the 3 apples they were just holding. That simple act of drawing what they just touched is incredibly powerful. It teaches them to visualize math.
And then, finally, we get to the abstract stage. This is where you see the stuff you recognize, right? The numbers, the plus signs, the equal signs. But here's the amazing part. Those symbols aren't scary or confusing anymore. They're packed with meaning because they're built on that rock-solid foundation of doing and seeing.
Okay, theory is great, but let's make this super practical. Let's talk about a tool that pretty much everyone has at home. Lego bricks. These little colorful blocks are just fantastic for making these big, abstract math ideas totally visible and hands-on.
You can start with some really simple, fun games. Have them sort bricks by color to make a little bar graph. Or create a red, blue pattern and ask them, hey, what comes next? That's pattern recognition. It's huge for building their logical thinking. Even just counting the little dots on top of a brick, that's math.
But what's so cool is that you can level up to some pretty big ideas. Snap a 2-stud brick and a 4-stud brick together, boom, that's addition they can see and feel. Or show them how 2 4-stud bricks are the exact same length as 1 8-stud brick. You've just shown them what a half is without any confusing worksheets. How cool is that?
And hey, you don't even need Legos, you don't need any special tools because your whole house is a math playground. And the kitchen? Oh, the kitchen is like Math Central. It's the perfect place to find these learning opportunities hiding in plain sight.
Think about it. Every single day, you're doing things that are packed with math. You're baking? That's fractions. Setting the table? That's one-to-one correspondence. Even just figuring out which Tupperware fits the leftovers is a lesson in volume and estimation. When you just ask these simple questions out loud while you're cooking or cleaning up, you're making math a totally normal, everyday part of life. Okay, so let's circle back to the big question. Why does this all work so much better? It's because the benefits go way beyond just getting the right answer on a test. You're not just teaching them to do math, you're actually building a different kind of brain, a problem-solving brain.
And the payoff here? It's absolutely huge. Kids who learn this way don't just memorize facts.
They become amazing little problem solvers. They develop a flexible way of thinking that builds a foundation for all the harder math they'll do later on. And maybe most importantly, you're helping them develop a real love for it. Math becomes a fun puzzle, not a scary subject.
You know, this quote from Splash Learn really hits the nail on the head. Math can be hard sometimes, for sure. But the goal isn't to take away the challenge, it's to reframe it. It's about changing the game, turning a potential struggle into a fun exploration.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. What if we stopped thinking of math as a subject we have to teach them and started seeing it as a world we get to explore with them? Because when you make that little shift in your mind, everything changes. You're not just raising a kid who's good at math, you're raising a curious, confident explorer for life.